Here's what you need to know before Breach. Breach is an album. Normally I do this sort of thing for movie franchises and TV series, so you might be wondering, what could I possibly need to know before an album? Well, when it comes to 21 Pilots and the story behind their music, a lot. 21 Pilots has been telling a single unified story for years now across multiple albums using any type of media you can think of. And when I say a story, I don't mean that in loose terms. I mean they have an entire lore with its own world, characters, even a kind of magic system. Their upcoming album, Breach, is intended to be a conclusion to this whole storyline. So I'm going to give you a big picture idea of where the story is up to this point. Their album, Blurryface, catapulted musical duo Tyler Joseph and Josh Dun into mainstream success. You've definitely heard hits from that album like Stressed Out,
but now we're stressed out. Wish we could turn back time
and Ride.
Taking my time on my ride.
Across all of 21 Pilots' music, the theme of mental health is a near constant. Tyler Joseph has long fought his own personal battle with severe depression and has analyzed that struggle from every possible direction through his music. This album introduced a character fans would come to know as Blurryface, the personification of Tyler's insecurities and doubts. Within the songs themselves, Blurryface is represented by a deep, ominous voice.
Avoid yesterday's downs.
Yo, this song will never be on the radio. Even if my click would have picked the people would have vote.
Visually, Blurryface's influence is signaled using the color red, and since the character is a personification of Tyler's inner struggle, he's usually represented as having taken over Tyler himself. Blurryface even had his own social account from which he would berate the band and its fans in an aggressive, unhinged way. In a video posted on the band's website in 2018, there was some hidden text that flashed on the screen for less than a second. Fans realized it was a link to another site, but then when you went there, you got this scary message. Error. You are in violation. They mustn't know you were here. No one should find out about this. But if you type the original link in the search bar and added this violation code, it brought you to a whole new website known as Dema.org. There, fans discovered a letter from somebody named Clancy, and this is where the 21 Pilots lore really takes off. Over the next several months, additional letters, pictures, and other material were uploaded to this secret website. This and later information would eventually tell a story that goes something like this. Now, discovering all of this stuff is kind of part of the fun, so if you'd rather go down this rabbit hole yourself, stop here. But if not, Clancy lives in a walled city known as Dema. The city is divided into districts, each run by one of 9 bishops. The bishops govern the city through a religion known as vialism, in which the only way to paradise is self-destruction. It is illegal to leave the city, but Clancy has tried and failed many times. He's heard there's a rebellion group outside the city called the Banditos. Having left Dema and the bishops behind, these rebels live in the otherwise wild and green continent known as Trench. The final music video for the Blurryface album had been Heavy Dirty Soul, in which Tyler is shown repeatedly speeding down a road in a car driven by a shadowy figure. Using music as a metaphor, Josh helps Tyler escape the vehicle and the cycle he's trapped in by destroying it. With the release of the Trench album, this moment was then used as the inception point for the story involving Clancy, because the first music video, Jumpsuit, picks up in the same setting. Tyler, now playing the role of Clancy, leaves the destroyed car, journeying into the world of Trench. This makes the Heavy Dirty Soul music video the story of Clancy initially escaping Dema. Clancy makes it pretty far into Trench, but somebody is coming after him. The leader of the 9 bishops who fans came to know as Nico, but he also goes by another name. The veil, the robe, the black paint on his face all recalls the depictions of Blurryface from the previous album, only now he's been given a more concrete identity for the evolving story. Right as Nico is about to capture Clancy, the Banditos show up. They don't directly help Clancy, but provide him with an extra bit of courage to resist Nico just a little bit longer. Now this would be a good time to acknowledge that even though the elements of the story are getting more specific and increasing in scale, the thematic purpose remains the same. Just as Blurryface was a kind of analogy in which Tyler could discuss his relationship with his inner anxieties, the city of Dema and the world of Trench become a representation for Tyler's continual battle to escape that dark place he often finds himself in, emotionally and mentally. With all of that in mind, it gives every layer to the story a purpose. For instance, why doesn't the rebel group just save Clancy from being taken again? They can't overpower the bishop for Clancy. They can offer support, but it's something Clancy will have to do himself. But that doesn't mean they don't try to help in any way they can, which we see in the next music video, Nico and the Niners. Here we get our first glimpse inside the city of Dema and the practices of vialism. While the bishops conduct their rituals, the Banditos sneak their way into the city to rescue Clancy. Josh depicts a character known as the Torchbearer, a guiding light for Clancy. Most 21 Pilots songs have a kind of double meaning. They can be about a theme or idea completely unrelated to the lore, but they'll often have specific references, like symbols and codes that give fans additional tidbits of information about the deeper storyline in some way. But a few songs, such as this one, deal directly with the story.
We'll win, but not everyone will get out. No, no. We'll win, but not everyone will get out.
By the end of the music video, Clancy has left Dema with the Banditos. In Levitate, Clancy attempts to join the rebel group. He wears their colors, learns their strategies for avoiding capture by the bishops, but it appears that Nico's hold on Clancy is too strong. He's snatched away from the Banditos once again and dragged back to the city. Then in 2021, the band announced the release of their new album, Scaled and Icy, alongside a live stream experience. The flyers for the live stream had logos reading, "A production of DMA.org." It was also going to be hosted by a morning show called Good Day Dema. The official statement was that the album was called Scaled and Icy as a reference to Scaled Back and Isolated, which is how the band felt during 2020. However, fans were pretty quick to notice that Scaled and Icy clearly meant something more. Mix those letters around and it was revealed to be an anagram for Clancy is dead.
What?
What? And if that's not sneaky enough for you, there's also a hidden message in the album art. The dragon's scales up here spell out the word destroy, and then right beneath that appears to be a jumble of shapes. Don't ask me how fans figured out this next part, but the shapes fit perfectly onto a map of a street in Ohio where the band is originally from. The name of the street is, of course, Clancy Way. Fans gathered that this entire album was a product of the Bishops. They were using Clancy's music to serve their own purposes. This would later be made clear in yet another hidden message. The band released a holiday single called Christmas Saves the Year, and on the package behind little Tyler there, it says, "Psy is propaganda," as in Scaled and Icy is propaganda. In the music video for Saturday, Clancy finds himself aboard a submarine performing for a bunch of people at some kind of party. The submarine is manned by people who look like bishops, or maybe serve the bishops. Either way, he's clearly still under Dema's control. That is, until a giant creature breaks through the submarine. Trash the Dragon is the same dragon on the cover art and had been showing up throughout the Scaled and Icy era. And as with all things in 21 Pilots lore, there's an extensive rabbit hole you can go down to figure out the inspiration behind the dragon, but we do not have time for that. I don't want to hear anything about it. In the next music video, The Outside, we see that one of the bishops was actually responsible for Clancy's escape. Through a miraculous ability called seizing, the bishop was able to control the dragon. For his betrayal, the other bishops destroy him. Meanwhile, Clancy and the Torchbearer wash up on an island where they happen across a group of little creatures that look like this. This might seem out of the blue, but this little guy was known to 21 Pilots fans already as Ned. Ned serves as a representation for Tyler's creative expression and how difficult it is for him to get things just right. Once Tyler is able to satisfy this little creature, it grows at a rapid rate. Ned still represents this, but now becomes an integral part of the story. See, the result of Tyler's creative expression, represented by Ned's antlers, is that he is able to fight back against his inner demons, represented by the bishops. Clancy takes control of the bishop through that same miraculous ability, clearly demonstrating to the other bishops, you're not the only ones in control anymore, I can fight back. The music video ends with Clancy and the Torchbearer signaling to the rest of the rebellion, and we see many other torches pop up in the distance. Last year, the band released the album Clancy, which began with the music video Overcompensate. This depicted Clancy holding a secret meeting with citizens of Dema, instructing them on how to fight back, brewing a rebellion. But how did Clancy sneak into the city without the bishops knowing? Well, he didn't. He used his newfound ability to control somebody within Dema. In the next music video, Navigating, we see Clancy and the Torchbearer crossing the continent of Trench to meet up with the rest of the Banditos. However, the big reveal here is the Torchbearer was never actually with Clancy all this time. It was something that Clancy was imagining to help him keep going. I think it could be saying all kinds of things about the impact of a true friend when dealing with a mental health crisis, but it's open for interpretation. Now that Clancy has officially reunited with the Banditos and the real Torchbearer, we come to what we all thought was supposed to be the finale. Paladin Strait depicts Clancy and the Banditos marching on Dema. The bishops use their power to raise up and control all the people that have succumbed to vialism, forcing them to fight on their behalf against the rebellion. Meanwhile, Clancy sneaks into the city, climbing the central tower so that he can confront the bishops. He manages to reach the tower and knocks out all of the bishops except, of course, for Nico, or Blurryface.
Hello, Clancy.
Fans were left on a cliffhanger. Some thought that really was the conclusion and it was meant to be open-ended, but others were convinced this wasn't over. During the Clancy World Tour, Tyler and Josh did what they do and served up a never-ending stream of clues. Eventually, using actual Morse code, they were able to reveal a single word: Breach. Which of course the band soon announced as their next album and the actual finale to this story. Breach will be released in September, but the first song and music video, The Contract, is out today. What's in store for Clancy and his fight against Blurryface? We'll all have to find out, but I would love to hear your theories on what's going on in the Contract music video, because I have no idea.